Hey guys, welcome back to the Viper Miner channel. I want to talk about a couple things about hardware. I promised you guys a video on how I'm deploying some of my rigs. So this strategy is going to work um, if you don't have your rigs as server cases. So like an Octaminer or Miner Dude or AAA's case. I think even GPU Risers has got a server case, but I never could justify the cost of those cases, even though you're not buying risers and everything else. They're way expensive for at least the size farm that I've got. Um, so what I want to talk about is how. So if you're not actually mining because the electric cost is too high, there is a couple things you can go do. So this is what I'm doing. So I don't want you guys to say, "Oh, this is what Viper did." So you need to make your own decision and make your own research. But there's a couple rigs that I have that are just they don't make sense to run at all, right? I've got some 580s, a 37, some 370s, and a 470s AMD rigs that just they don't make sense to run. Even trying to, it's just I can't get enough coin to even justify it. So what I have been doing now is I leave the one GPU in there strictly for video, and then I run it headless after that. But I have been making nodes out of these. Okay, so there's a couple things you got to do. So one of the things that when I do make my rigs, because I want to CPU mine on all my rigs as well. Another reason why I don't like the octa miners and all that in the server cases. I buy AMD Ryzen's. I think the lowest one I got is a 7 3900, and that was back when I was trying to build some stuff that was just so expensive. But now I'm got 9s and stuff like Ryzen 9s, 5900s and stuff like that. So those are a little more beefier. But I also put 16 gig of RAM in. The only thing I have to upgrade is the SSD drive, which is fine because I would have done that anyway because I don't want to lose all those overclocks and everything on that rig. So I would swap out the SSD drive anyway. But you need to have at least a terabyte, and to be honest with you, I would probably go 2 terabytes just to be on the safe side. There's a couple coins that actually require you to have a node that's 2 terabytes, but I've done 2 because 2 is it's very inexpensive. It's like $30. But I've been getting, so I've been doing those. And so what you do is swap those out, and you can run Ubuntu on there and then start a node. And so the nodes I've been working on, I got several running, and they're all syncing still. So it does take a while to sync. I have Crow, which is crypto.com's coin token. That is taking almost 22 days. I think I calculated out 22, 23 days to do. I'm about 2 weeks into it, so I'm about halfway there. And then Matic, and I'm doing a Firo, and I have one Cumulus Flex node up, and I'm looking to do a second Flex node, but a Nimbus Flex node. So I'm mining, trying to grab as much and stack my bag for Flex right now. So that's nice because, so for instance, who would have thought that crypto's token, if you can make a node, you can self-stake 10.16, I believe, right now, at least as of last night when I looked, and today is October 14th. But that's 10%. How do you make 10% somewhere else? I mean, that's good money, right? So you can stake that, and then because you're running a node, you can also then open that up to anybody else. Now, this is where you got to have some liability in a sense of, and this is not financial advice, but you got to make sure you have UPS on it. You can have uptime on it. So we'll show you your uptime, and people will make that decision. And then you can charge a commission on what they make, right? So you'll notice out if you go out there in the Crypto.com's app, if you're in the United States, you have to use the app. They haven't made it where you can do a website yet, but outside the United States, you can use a website, so you can actually VPN somewhere else if you want to, and just kind of look from your desktop. But and you'll need to do KYC, so you're going to have to come back to the United States anyway. So might as well just use the app. But you'll see out there some of them 100% commission. It's because it's someone who built a node that doesn't want to take the responsibility of somebody else's coin. So they're basically saying, you're not going to make money with me, right? So, which is fine, and that's perfectly legit. And I probably will start out that way as well, because I want to see how that goes, and then maybe I'll open up one node for everybody else, maybe one for the community if you guys are interested in that. Because I will tell you, they're not fun to build in the sense of they're fun to build, but you're waiting forever for it to sync. In fact, I've already figured out the next Crypto.com and next Matic nodes I'm going to do is I'm actually going to snapshot them and then bring them and just have a good point to start out with, because building from scratch is time consuming. Okay, so that's one way to do this. Okay, so that's redeploying some of your hardware with minimal expense to upgrade your drive. Now, if your drive is already, a terabyte or 2 terabytes, which would have been overkill for a mining rig, you're golden at that point if you got them laying around. Don't use a regular platter hard drive though. It's not fast enough. You have to use an SSD drive. And don't buy the cheapest one that you can find online. Buy one that's got a high read-write rate, especially the read rate, because you're going to have multiple reads, and you'll write every so often as a block gets made. But make sure you have those as high read-write rates. The other option you can do, which is not that expensive, actually maybe cost you less to run, more cost effective, is I've been purchasing these little HP computers. So this is an i5. They come and they're used. Okay, so my prices fluctuate, so sometimes it goes on sale, and like this Amazon's October Amazon Prime Days, I got these for $99. Otherwise, they're from $99 to $137. Not a bad price at all. It comes with 4 gig of RAM and like a 256 hard drive. The CPU is fine for the node. You'll have to upgrade the RAM, and you'll have to upgrade the SSD drive. Now, for example, I think I already changed this one. I think I was bored last night. Like I said, my wife works nights, so I do a lot of projects at night. But yeah, I already changed this one. So what I did is I changed this SSD drive, and there's the cables right here. Unplug the data and the power. You don't even need a screwdriver or any tools to do this. There's a little flange right here that you pull back, and the rubber feet slide out from there. And then underneath the drive are 2 DDR3 sticks of laptop memory, and that's all you need. So because they're DDR3, and that's why I think they're syncing a little bit slower than what I've read out there for it to be syncing at the rate, which is fine. I'm patient. I'll wait. I got, time on my hands in a sense. And so so I have to go buy the SSD drive and then some memory, which the memory I can get 16 gig, and that's the max that these can hold. So if you're doing a node that requires 32 gig, you're gonna have to upgrade the node. But for the coins I've been looking at, it's all been 16. Matic recommends between 16 and 32 gig, but everything I read, 16 is fine, and it's syncing. It's actually syncing faster than my crypto token node, but that's like $33 on Amazon. It's DDR3 1600 megahertz, so it's cheap RAM. So it's real easy to get into building these. And what's really nice about these, let's see if I can get the cover on here. Yep. Is they do stack really nice. So I just have them stacked right now on top of each other, and I have an old monitor that I've been using the VGA connector. It does have, I believe these are 4K ports. They're not HDMI ports. They're either is it 4K or 8K. I can't remember. I should know because all my monitors here are on that cable as well. But so if you have an older monitor, you won't be able to. You'll have to use this VGA. Now, depending on where you get these from and what the guy most of the time I bought them from the same vendor, but even with him, depending on I think what he's got in stock, sometimes I get a converter here that would bring it to HDMI, and I've gotten a converter that brings it to like one of the to this cable, the VGA, and then a couple times I gotten keyboard and mouse. Nothing fancy keyboard and mouse, just wired connections, but which is fine because all you need is that. And there's plenty of USB ports on here. There's 2 in the front, 4 in the back. It has Wi-Fi, but I don't recommend using the Wi-Fi. Use the Cat5 connection because you'll need that speed for the internet connection. And then that's pretty much it. And that's it. And that takes. I haven't put it up to a kilowatt thing but just looking at the power supply, I think it's taking less than 100 watts to run. So it's not that power hungry. So a great option for those that have higher electric rates. You probably can even get 100 watt power, solar power, 1 lithium battery, and probably run this most of the day. I haven't tried that yet, but that could be an option. So there's some different options for you to run a node, and the nodes seem to be pretty profitable, right? Because it's nice because you can run a master node and you can really get some stack some coin, get some interest on there. There is one other way to do this, and I'll show you why I did not do this. I said all nodes. Yeah, there we go. All right, so there's 5 or 6 different companies out there that will set up nodes for you, right? And so and this is actually, I use all nodes, not as a customer, okay? And you'll see why in a second. Nothing against them. They seem to be really good, a really good company and all that. They got really good ratings, great uptime. That's not the reason why I'm not using them. But I do use them to see what I can get, what's notable, right? It's a nice list of what you can use for a node, and there's a couple projects out here that's like I didn't even know existed. For example, I am really interested in, just for the fact what they're doing. Now, I'm a big science geek, and where do they go? Or am I not in the, coming soon? Now, I have noticed they will take some stuff off once they get, oh, here we go. Osmosis. So I'm looking at these guys from a project standpoint. But so a validator node for these guys is $360 a month, plus you got to stake. Okay, so you got to stake this, which is going to cost you $84,000. I mean, this is expensive, right? Self stake $1 or one osmosis, right? So not that. If you build your own node, I can cut out the 360 and I can then self-stake at a much lower price. Okay. Same with like Cardano. So you can see that that's $720 a month to host a staking pool. Well, why do I want to? I could do that myself. I don't need much hardware to do that, right? And you just got to go to their website, see what the requirements are, what the prereqs are, right? So the other one that so Bitcoin, you get no benefit other than unless you want to mine to your node, okay? But I'm building a Polygon Matic node right now. So I am doing a validator node, which gets me 5.5%. Okay, so that's really nice. It gives you the current interest rate on top of it, so you can make a decision. But I'm not paying no 400. Now I'm doing the grunt work, right? Now I'm sure they got images once it's been built, and it doesn't take much for them to catch up on the chain. But I'm not. I don't. I personally do not want to pay $480. It doesn't take much technology knowledge to go build a node. Half of it is copy and paste, and then just making sure you have a uninterrupted power supply. You know, you got a stable internet connection, and that you have met all the prereqs. And some of them are, you know, memory, CPU, hard drive space, bandwidth for your internet. But they spell it all out for you, so you know what's going on. And then you're going to have to keep up with it to know when you're going to do the updates and everything else. But if you don't do an update by a certain, you know, whatever their time window is, you will fall off the network, and then you're starting from scratch, which is fine with me because, yes, part of that 300 or what is this, $480 for this, they will do the updates for you, okay. But I'm interested in Polygon. I am only grabbing nodes that I'm interested in those projects. So this is a good way for me to force myself to stay on top of that project, okay? And there's, like I said, there's 5 or 6 other companies out there that are very well known, very, very reputable. But it talks about stuff. And then, so they talk about what they're doing, this is all good information that you can use as a resource. But their pricing is just, it's outrageous, right? Now I can grab just a host and do this on theirs, or like AWS, I can go grab. But the problem is that once you start getting to the bandwidth and everything else, you almost need this, because now you got the gigabyte, right? So like, even if you wanted to run a Flux node, you need to have, I want to say at least a half a gig, or is it 256 gig? But it's up and down, so you got to make sure you got both sides. So if your internet connection at home is, for example, so if I want an internet broadband connection from my cable company, Spectrum, I can get 250 or 300 megabytes down, but I can only get 10 up. I would pay through the nose to get above 10. Now, I have 2 internet connections. I'm blessed. I have I kept my cable internet connection when my HOA made a deal with CenturyLink for fiber. So I have a gigabyte up and down through my fiber connection, which is extremely stable. And then my broadband cable is 500 by 20, I believe. And I'm just buying, that's just the base for, actually one step up from the base. And it used to be 300, now I notice I'm getting 500. And so they must have changed their packages around. But anyway, so that's why I'm not using a service to build my nodes. It's a whole lot cheaper to go ahead and grab one of these if I don't want to use a rig, or if my rigs are being used. And so that's, kind of another way to go and make some money, right? Some passive income. And it's a great learning experience too. So for instance, you can build stuff on a Mac and or a PC. Macs are just, the hardware is expensive. You can't run a Mac you can't run the OS anything but on a Mac. Windows has a lot more overhead, a lot more hardware requirement than Linux. And it's really great for me to, from my standpoint, I'm brushing up on my Linux, right? I haven't used Linux in a good whiles, other than some little tweaks here on my mining rigs. So this has really kind of got me back into dusting off the cobwebs for my Linux education. So a good way to learn another operating system. And there's a lot of tutorials out there for it, and a really good way to dive deep into a project that you might be interested in. And I really like the projects where, so Flux, I can mine and I can have a master node. Firo, I can mine and have a master node. Caspa, I can mine and have a master node. Okay. Now you can have a node. So, and I haven't played with this yet. I haven't run the numbers yet. You can build a ETH classic node and mine to it. You can solo mine to it. I just don't know what it would take to do that. And talking about ETH. So if we actually look at and this was the Mac Daddy at one point, this iPolo, but it's really not that anymore. It is this one. So this is the most efficient iPolo out there, and this beats the Jazz miners. It only has, again, 6 gigs, so do be careful. 400 mega hash at 232 watts. So if we were to go, whoops, where is my, sorry guys, I am bouncing over, I'm looking for this. So 400 mega hash, what I say, 230 watts. Let's be realistic and say you don't have solar and you're the average in the United States. Current value, calculate. You are making money. You're turning a profit. You're paying your electric bill $7.99 after your electric bill in fiat. But here's what's disturbing. Only 1.319870. So let's round that up to 1.32 ETC a month, not a day, a month. That is horrible. And if I'm only making $7.99 for and I gotta pay $28.19, that's gonna take decades to pay off. Now, I can hear some of you guys saying, well, ETC hopefully won't stay down in the 20s. You're right. Hopefully it doesn't. But even if it were to go to 50, right? And that doesn't happen for, I don't know, let's say a year. That's 12 months at 1.3. So let's do that real quick, guys. So 1.32, I think we said for coin. Yeah. And we do that for 12 months. That's 15.84 times, let's say ETC hits its high at 50 again. That's only $792, assuming ETH goes up that high, and not ETH, but ETC, and that, and you still have to back out your electric. Okay, it's just not, unless you got like some of those E9s or something like that, and even that, I don't think they're making out all that much. If we even go to miners, and I say ETC here. Do I have to do ETH hash for the algo? Oops. Wow, I cannot. My glasses are killing me here. So ETH hash. So the iPole I showed you is not even close to that. So you have to get the new one, which is 3.6 giga hash, and you're only making, well, let's not do nice hash. $2.16 a day. $2.16 a day. That's nothing. If you had the E9, which was originally an Ethereum miner, with the new firmware update, you're 179 because this thing's a pig on the wattage. Notice Well, actually, this is a higher wattage, and it's making. Oh, it's the gigahash. This is actually better than gigahash. More power, but it's the gigahash that's killing you. The Jazz miners. And this is the new Jazz miner. $1.62, and I'm pretty sure this Q4, this thing has only got. Let's see if I can get to the manufacturer page here. I'm pretty sure this has only got. So you're a $9,000 unit. Now it's not giving me how much memory it's got. So actually, is it Jingle Mining? They might actually have the hash rate or the memory on here. Well, they're definitely cheaper. Is that the same unit? $4.59. That's Jingle Mining. Oh, I wonder if I just click that. Anyway, so let's see if they got memory here. Yeah, only 5 gig. 5 gig. That is dangerous, guys. That's a lot of money for when is this going up? Let's see here. I know it's somewhere on the bottom. Here we go. Miner hash rate, wallet, DEG size. So let's do BTC. October 7, 2028. So that's what we're let's call it 2023. So you're talking 5 years. Are you right now? Are you going to be able to get your money back in 5 years? I don't know. And it's less than 5 gig because it's got to use some of that for the OS. So I don't know. That's a high risk. In my opinion, it's a high risk. Anyway, so guys, please stay safe. Be profitable. God bless. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next video.